What's up, comic book fans? And welcome to Comics Icons. Now, JJ, what they call me. And today, I bet you didn't think you'd see this one from me. But we got the first issue of a new ongoing series, Spider-Gwen, the Ghost Spider. And I'm sure most of you guys already know Spider-Gwen's history. In her universe, she was Gwen Stacy and the one that had gotten bit by that radioactive spider instead of Peter Parker, who had actually ended up becoming the Lizard. And when Spider-Gwen, better known on her Earth as Spider-Woman, ended up getting accused for the death of her Peter Parker, forcing her on the run from the law, which included her own father. But now somehow Spider-Gwen is a permanent resident of our main Marvel Universe, Earth 616, which is interesting, since this Earth's Gwen Stacy died in one of the most iconic stories ever. So if you guys are ready for this new ongoing series featuring the popular Spider-Gwen and her first ever adventure as a permanent resident right here on Earth 616, in a universe already filled with plenty of other spider people and all our other favorite Marvel heroes, then you guys already know what time it is. Let's get it. So the issue starts off with a recap of the life and death of 616 Gwen Stacy, from the mind of Ghost Spider Gwen Stacy. And I'm going to tell you guys now, I've scoured the last few issues of her comics as well as across the internet, and I couldn't find out how or why she's stuck here in Earth 616 now, but I think that that's something that's going to be slowly revealed as this series goes on. But I just wanted to make sure that I let that be known before I forget, because I know that question will come up. But then we pick up with Gwen, and right now she's at a bank trying to open up an account. But obviously she's having a hard time with it since her doppelganger from this Earth is deceased. And she's got no active social security number or any other type of identification from this universe, which subsequently is the reason for her name, Ghost Spider. In her world, she's Spider-Woman, but this world has one. And since her counterpart here is gone and she's without an identity, she's basically a ghost. But without any kind of personal identification or any other information besides a name, there's nothing that this bank can do for her. But just as they try sending her on her way, three masked gunmen run in, and Gwen might be out of her element here on this Earth. But there's nothing quite like a good old-fashioned bank robbery to make her feel at home. So she hides behind one of the teller's desks and activates her suit. Although she knows that she's not supposed to, that was part of the deal she made when she came to this Earth. No suit. There's tons of other heroes in this universe. They can handle things like this. But she can't help herself even though she knows it is going to get her into trouble. But she reemerges and leaps into action, disarming the bank robbers. And then she gracefully takes out all of these guys as all of the bystanders look on and take pictures. And unfortunately, one thing about her arrangement here is that nobody is supposed to know that she's here. So with all of these cameras out, she knows that she's screwed. Especially since all of the spider people already know who she is. But when she gets back to her apartment, we meet her handler. And how about that? If y'all saw the Loki Disney Plus series, then you already know who this is. But her handler is none other than that OB, Aurora Boros from the TVA. And apparently he's been waiting here for exactly 18 minutes, 38 seconds, and 19 milliseconds. Don't y'all play with OB. But he makes sure to remind her of their arrangement. No costume. The TVA agreed to help her if she met their conditions. No costume, no universe jumping, and no interacting with other heroes or villains. She is to remain incognito. But why send me to a universe where there are like 8 different spiders then if she can't interact, she questions. But for her, it's just safer to put her in a universe where there aren't more Gwen Stacys. And these rules are put in place to protect both her and her family. But then OB wonders why Gwen was even at the bank. And what's wrong with the identity that the TVA provided her with, Lisa Rogers. But honestly, Gwen just really wanted to keep a piece of herself. Plus she's kind of salty that everybody there gets an alias except for her. Even Aurora Boros has OB. And side note here, I really do like the artwork in this comic, and I've always loved the Spider-Gwen design from the moment they introduced her. She's got one of the sickest looks out of all of the spider people. But y'all ever notice how big they make her feet? She's got like the skinniest legs in the world, but her feet are ginormous as hell. Y'all don't mind me, I'm just having fun with it. But I dig Spider-Gwen. But Gwen then apologizes to OB for stopping the robbery. She just couldn't stand around and watch anybody get hurt. But OB tells her that the other heroes are gonna ask why she's here. But if they're to make this thing work, then none of them can know the truth. And he makes Gwen promise that she understands, to which she does. And he also reminds her that she absolutely cannot put the suit back on. If she wears it again, then people will die. She's got to look at the big picture. She might have stopped the robbery, but at what cost? But the suit has a mind of its own sometimes, she tells OB. It's a symbiote, and it gets hungry. She's in control most of the time, but it's complicated. But this is non-negotiable, OB tells her, so she needs to make the suit understand. But then OB heads out. He's got to now go and readjust the plans after today's events. And as he leaves, she thinks to herself that everything will be fine. All she's got to do is not let her symbiote suit take over, and don't say anything to any of her friends. That shouldn't be too hard, right? Then we pick up with Carlos La Muerto, aka the Black Tarantula, as he gets in a boxing workout with one of his men. And he's pissed about that failed bank robbery. It was supposed to have been a done deal. But then he decides that they need to call in some backup. Someone that can draw attention away from them. So he has his man to call Dimitri to see how much he wants to do his best exterminator impression. But then we pick back up with Gwen as she swings through the city. But at least this time she's not in the suit. But once again she's alerted to trouble as sirens below begin to pick up. And she notices a speeding truck that's about to cause a huge wreck on the bridge. And there's no way she could sit back and watch a school bus full of kids in danger. So once again, she leaps into action, suit and all. But when she lands on the runaway truck, she realizes that no one's inside. So she's forced to pull off her best Tobey Maguire Spider-Man impression and slowing down this driverless runaway truck. And now that she stopped it, all of the kids on the bus are overjoyed that they just got rescued by the new Spider. But just as she tries to come up with a good line for the kids, she's hit in the neck with a dart. And it's not just any dart, but a poison dart from none other than Kraven the Hunter, who's here for the pleasure of taking out a spider. And then he properly introduces himself, Sergei Kravinoff, aka Kraven. And Gwen thinks to herself that even this guy gets an AKA. But she's faced the Kraven before on her own universe. Although this Kraven she thought was supposed to be dead. One ghost fighting another apparently, she thinks. But at first she thinks that this one moves way fast. But then she realizes that the effects from the poison dart have slowed her down, and before she knows it, she begins to see images of this Earth's Gwen Stacy falling to her death. Is this where it happened, she thinks to herself? Is this where I died? As she looks around in amazement. But then she's sucker punched by Kraven, and as she leaps at him in retaliation, he catches her and then puts his dagger right into her stomach before throwing her off the bridge and into the water. And as she falls, she recalls the same words in the intro to this series when she recalled the dead Gwen Stacy from this world. And as she splashes down into the water and sinks, she thinks to herself that she should have listened to OB. But then a pair of arms reach into the water behind her to save her, and before we can find out who her savior is, that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of the issue. So what did you guys think about Spider-Gwen's Earth 616 debut, huh? And what do you think that it is that's got her stuck in this Earth permanently now? And I want to hear from all of the fans of Spider-Gwen. How do you guys feel about her being taken out of her own universe? Especially with all those stories and character building that have been done on her Earth 65. And does this story even interest you going forward? Plus, big shout out to the writer Stephanie Phillips. Because it's not an easy task to take a fan favorite like this and rewrite the character into a new world that's already filled with established stars. So I'm interested in seeing if she can take on that tall task. But I thought that this first foray was pretty cool myself. And I absolutely love seeing OB here. He was kind of the breakout star of Loki Season 2, so that's pretty dope. But you guys hop in those comments and let me know all you guys' thoughts and theories on this series going forward. And as always, if you guys enjoyed this video and this channel, and you'd like to support the channel, then you can do so by stopping by the Comics Icon store and picking you up some of this dope merchandise, including the background music heard right here in this video, now available for download. Or by joining the Iconic Fan Club channel membership, and it'll be a link in the description to join. But with your membership, your voice will be heard during our interactive live streams with yours truly, where we can talk about everything that's been going down in these issues, as well as ones that you'd like for me to go over in the future and other comic book news. Plus, you guys will get loyalty badges, member shoutouts, and up to 20% off of Comics Icon's merchandise from the Comics Icon store, amongst other things. And now we've got new tiers to the memberships as well, starting at just 99 cents. Now, how's that for a great way to help out your favorite channel? Or you guys could donate to the channel with a super thanks. And if you're not able to do any of these, then you could still be a tremendous help to the future of this channel by dropping a like, share, and subscribing to Comics Icons for more icons in the comic book world. But ladies and gentlemen, it's about that time. I'm out. Peace.